still healing. I'm still healing. Healing.
Okay, welcome to episode number 2 of the ECE, the Essex Charity eSports podcast. Once again, I'm John, aka K12. I'm joined once again by the vice captain of the eSports team, Mr. Larry. Larry, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
Yeah, getting there. And we're joined by the captain of the eSports team, Mr. Regan. He wasn't here for the first one, but he's here and he's ready to go for the second one. How are you?
Yes, mate, I am fantastic. Bit tired, but you know, it's how it is.
Yeah, that's
Things
life.
good for you?
Yeah, we're getting there. A couple more days and should be back to normal. Let's hope.
Hopefully so.
But yeah, and I think we'll jump straight in and I will hand it over to Larry to get us on the way.
Right, first things first, we've got a little update from the last episode because while we were talking about wrestlers that were possibilities of the 56 that were released during the time, 2 of them cropped up at an independent or coming to an independent one in September the 25th. Literally, we heard about that evening, which is Tyler Breeze and Tony Nese, which that always happens. Good to see them back, but I mean, it is like a tiny little one as well. So it's good to see them sort of coming back, even if it's not like the major leagues, but the small little indies.
Yeah, hopefully it will lead to them going to bigger things. Because I tell you one that I kind of did slip under the radar, and one that I see this morning was Jake Atlas.
Yep.
Now, I do not remember Jake Atlas leaving NXT at all, but he's actually debuting for New Japan Strong. I believe it's in a couple of weeks' time. So, yeah, that was one that completely slipped under the radar. But, yeah, that's another one to add to the many that got released or left the company.
So, obviously, sorry, Bayern and all that, the amount that's been released from WWE within the past, couple of months now?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more? Yeah. The way you look at it, right, is obviously Vince has got something going on in his head that he needs to strip this completely down, whether they're selling off or whatever they're doing. But then, I see something the other day which I found quite funny. Obviously, AEW and you got New Japan and TNA and everything else. Could you imagine if a worldwide wrestling federation took down WWE?
Yeah, just the scenes. Like, it would be what could have happened back in 2001 if WCW had beaten WWE. This time, I don't think we're going to see another wrestling company go out of business for a very long time yet. But the way that Vince is running things, it's concerning.
It's very old-fashioned.
I had this conversation
it's like it's frozen
yesterday.
in time.
Yeah. It's like he's stuck in his ways that this is how I beat my competition before, and I'm just going to stick to this. Like, you see AEW, obviously they've got a working relationship now with New Japan. You've got people showing up on Impact. Even NWA, you've got people showing up on each other's shows. It's just, why? I just don't get it. Honestly, I could go on about this for days, but Vince, if he opened that so-called forbidden door, this whole...
Which he won't.
That's the problem. But think how good wrestling could be if Vince just go, you know what? Everyone else is working with each other. Maybe it's time for me to give up the ghost and I'll join in on that.
Yeah, so the thing is, it would be a good idea in the sense of it, but at the same time, he's got his prime talent. He ain't going to want them showing up somewhere else where...
Oh, God, no.
You know what I mean? The thing is, don't get wrong. I mean, you could have so many good matches and whatever, you could book so much, but the outcome, do you really think it would work that way? I mean, even if they do try and sell it to the fans and the crowd, like, could you imagine Randy Orton not being WWE, turning up at TNA or AEW and then straight away taking on like Kenny Omega or someone else? And you think, do you reckon that's really going to happen? Like, you know, Orton's like a WWE guy. You know, he's not gonna jump or anything. You know, it's I don't know, man. Where I used to watch when it was WWF at one point. You see the people that their faces fit because of who's around, like i.e. Triple H and Shawn Michaels used to run stuff behind the scenes at some point, didn't they? You know, whatever they said kind of went. I mean, they tried getting The Rock out early stages, and then I think he had one match and I was like, actually, no, we'll keep him because of what he can do. And it's like, you're trying to bully people out. And I see something on CM Punk as well. I didn't read the whole thing. Basically, when he started, he said it was basically like high school. You had people, grown-ass men, bullying him. And he said he was a grown-ass man himself. Like, sorry for the swearing, but phrasing what he said. And it's like, he was saying that the people that were there didn't get what he was about. And he said, like, well, yeah, you're 65 and you're like a racist. And it was just like, there is so much that goes into all this stuff behind the scenes. And yet you notice that they don't really care. They've got their kind of guys, obviously like Vince, that's the big guys, isn't he? The big sweaty guys that are just going to hurt people. He doesn't care about all the smaller guys that can create a massive, amazing 5-star matches all the time.
This is the thing, and I see a post earlier. It might have been from last night. I only see it this morning, but someone saying, how can you let Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole walk out of your company? And to a T, I think that's unfair because I know they tried to keep both of them. Obviously, Adam Cole is he loves his Twitch. He loves this community that he's got with Twitch. So he wanted to keep
and an OGA All Elite as well.
That's it. So Adam Cole's got the freedom to do that and to go and wrestle. And Daniel Bryan wanted to take his wrestling in a different direction that Vince didn't agree with. But they've actually left on good terms, which is nice to see when, like we said before, you see guys like Carl Anderson come out and just try and rip WWE. But they have actually walked away and left the company on good terms. So I wouldn't say it's so much of letting them leave, but it's that same thing again that Vince wants what Vince wants. And it's that or you get nothing. So it's
basically saying that, go on, if this is what you really want to do, you go try it. It doesn't work. The door's still open if need be.
Yeah, and this is what Vince done with Brett back in the day as well. Like, Brett didn't want to leave, but Brett had different ideas. And again, he went to WCW. It didn't quite work out the way that he and everyone else thought it would. But it was kind of that, well, I don't want you to go, but if that's what you need to do to further your career, I'm not going to hold you back. So I don't think there's a lot of hatred towards WWE, which sometimes they're very hard to defend. But equally, I think he's not tried to promise them things and then just let them wilter away in like the lower card and stuff like that. He said, look, if that's what you want to do, then be free.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked by that because like over the years, someone's obviously tried to change their angle or they've tried to change this and they've buried the talent. Like they've put a mid card, they've made them lose matches. And you know, when Vince gets upset or someone else gets upset, they make them lose. They make an example out of them. And it's kind of weird to see that so many of their decent stars have gone. Hey, whether it's like the contracts have, run out or they couldn't agree new terms or they just thought, you've come to an end now. There's nothing we can do with you.
Yeah, it's
and
very strange.
It is. But I mean, you look at like people like Jericho, like there is no way back for that guy. And he's like, I don't care. I'm, doing whatever in AEW. And he's done everything he can do, really, isn't he? To be fair.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think we've spoke wrestling enough.
Let's
move on.
Yeah, no, we definitely have. But no, one thing actually, which that has literally come out last night, that was something of an interest to me, was Paradox Interactive, who make the City Skyline games, the Kingdom, I think it's like Kingdom Come games, the very like a lot of the strategy games have just last night there was a union that did a kind of little survey at the company, and 44% of the 133 employees have experienced mistreatment at a workplace. And this is only between also like what's going on with Activision and Ubisoft in Singapore. This is not surprising, but it's not even America. This is in Sweden from the looks. And they have obviously replied saying they were aware of the survey that has been taken inside the company, and they're at the moment like in the middle of getting new CEOs and a lot of change at the company, but they are going to obviously do their own investigation as well, but they can't obviously talk too much about it because of how like some of the stuff is kind of private and all of that. So obviously I think it's a very difficult time for them, and I must be, it's definitely another one that shows like serious, but I think this is a smaller company from the millions of companies like Activision and EA. For this to happen in a smaller company is just showing how vast this thing is.
Yeah, it's just more bad news, like in the gaming industry again. I just feel like, what are you seeing out of the gaming industry so far that's positive news? Like, it's just mad. Like, obviously,
the only thing I can think about that hasn't even been used is something that was in the UK, because I know they were giving away free games to like the NHS staff.
Yeah,
at a time, and I know there's a company in Oxford doing surveys with Gran Turismo to help with, like, I think it's just like to figure out like health and stuff, which they've been doing for the last couple of weeks, because I'm sort of part of it because I play Gran Turismo Sport quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think that's
stuff,
it's stuff that's stuff like that it's not spoke about enough. So you see all the bad stuff come out, and it's the same with any kind of news and media. You see all the bad stuff come out, and the good stuff kind of just gets swept aside. So I think it is important to spotlight that. Maybe there is good stuff going on that isn't getting the attention, but equally, the bad stuff, it's really not helping the video game industry at the minute.
No, it isn't. There is what's also quite interesting that just came out the last couple of days is that some of CD Projekt Red have been hiring modders for their team.
I
was thinking that must be how bad it is at the company. They've had to bring in modders to actually go, well, that's wrong with your game. That's what's wrong with your game. That's what's wrong with your game. You need to. It's probably that's what they're doing, because probably the modders are actually better than the people at the company. I'm
how worrying is that?
People involved.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, it's like, you look at some of the games that you can mod. Like, it's mainly I say mainly PC games, but like on the consoles as well. Like, some of the games you can get, you're guaranteed to see someone go, well, I can mod this, we'll change this, like, and then it comes out, and then they get their own little thing. But to have them to do your company, they're just looking and going, yeah, this is wrong. It's going to strip down games or whatever to then rebuild a game. It's kind of a good in the sense of it, because, you're looking at it and going, well, if these people can see something wrong that we've clearly missed, but at the same time, if your own people can't do it, it's saying something about other people that are actually working for these sort of companies, isn't it, really?
No, quite actually, but no, because there is another example I can give up to that. Is there was an update that GTA 5 Online did, and they paid one guy, it was like quite a bit actually, because he found a way around the loading times, and it was like a big chunk on the loading times.
Really?
I can't remember. This was like last year. I remember it coming out. I was like, a lot of people were like, wow, that's quite a lot, but it must have been quite a good thing for someone to do to have that. But also, I should just mention, console modding isn't really a thing. I can only think of 3 games that actually have, or 4 games that have modding, and that's 3 Bethesda games and Skater XL, which has its own thing. It's not really a thing, and a lot of companies don't. It's actually mostly illegal, which is why it takes a lot of time to get modding onto console a thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, I say I know, but like saying there are like select games that you can do it, but there are people out there that find a way. It's even the servers. Like previous Call of Duties, people have modded the servers. People have broken into the servers. They've dropped servers down, and it's like, I know the game's not used that much anymore, but there are people still out there that like to play the game. Like, even if it is like 5, 6, 15 years old, like you had a game that you like to play, you jump on, you still want to play the same way, but you don't get that anymore for some console games, and it is a shame, but after a few years, it's going to run out.
Well, no, not only that, it's also in Japan, they've made it illegal to do it. You can actually, I think there's like, you get fines and even prison sentences for modding
Jeez.
in certain cases. Yeah, because they really, I mean, that's why you don't really see it on Japanese, like, especially on Nintendo, because they're really against it. Because there's a very famous case very famous one, actually, and I would say people to check it out. It's, if anyone remembers the old NES days with the Game Genie.
Yep.
Yeah, Game Genie, okay. Nintendo sued them.
Jesus.
No, because they were saying, well, you're changing some of our stuff. You're breaking our game. You're kind of, but they lost. But the interesting is, do you know who that company was that made the Game Genie? Because it was under two names, I think, one for the American and one for the Europeans.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know it was under 2. I can't think off the top of my head.
Codemasters.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, Codemasters. Codemasters made the original OG Game Genie, which is obviously now one of the most successful companies in the UK for making like Formula 1 games, WRC, and all of that, which is just mad to think about. Mad. But it's definitely one of the more interesting things.
Yeah, definitely.
So a company gets sued and then becomes one of the biggest in like somewhat, say, for instance, like UK because of something they've done.
Yeah, I would say I think there's only a couple other companies that are now, obviously, there's obviously Rockstar Glasgow. That's probably bigger. And then there's like a couple of these little independent ones like Hello Games that I know is now becoming quite big. And then you've got Motorsport Games, which is blowing up big time now. In the last year or two, the amount of stuff they're announcing or making is ridiculous. But no, Codemasters are definitely the biggest, although technically they're now American because they're now owned by EA.
Typical. We can't have anything good.
Although ironically, they were nearly bought out by Take-Two.
Wow.
But the investors were like, no, not happening.
Fair enough.
Well, it shows
I'll
EA
be honest, if that did happen to Take-Two, I would be panicking because the amount of time, if you know what Take-Two do, they make 2K and GTA, the microtransactions would have been so heavy, it would have been unplayable.
Oh, yeah. Of course it would.
But yeah, I think it's a bit more lighter. You would hope.
Well, yeah. It can't be on EA's level, can it? Jeez.
Yeah, no. Quite.
Anything could.
No. I mean, they have been doing some all right Star Wars games recently with Rogue Squadron and Fallen Soldier. No,
Fallen Jedi.
the most recent.
No, was it?
Fallen Jedi. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's something Jedi.
Something Jedi, yeah.
But after when they got ripped for Battlefront, I think they kind of had to go, all right, yeah, we messed up big time.
Well, no, also the states were starting to get involved and going, oh, I'm interested. And Belgium then banning it, Italy or Netherlands then banning it. We're now looking into it. The Irish tried to, the Americans are looking into it. The French are asking for the IP code on their FIFA games to see if they are fixing stuff.
Yeah.
Or just see how it all works and stuff. So if it's like a big studio, they'll get the good stuff. If you're like a small timer or nobody, then they'll give you terrible stuff.
Jeez.
And then they're just trying to find out the code. They're trying to figure out the code. I do remember this, but I haven't heard much about that since it was originally announced.
Yeah, that'll be something that just all of a sudden crops up again in a few months, where it's kind of like, well, they're doing their own work, so they're just filtering into the background, and all of a sudden they'll find something and go, right, this is it, and something big's going to come of it. But yeah, I suppose it's just a waiting game on the terms of that one.
Yeah, no, quite. Shall we get onto the questions that people are bringing us on Twitter and Discord?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. We've had, obviously, if you do want to give us questions that we will try and ask in the next podcast, then put it either in the comments in the YouTube, in our YouTube, or Twitter, or with K12 Productions, or our Discord, which I think is under Mischief. I think.
On the Discord, it is under the Misfit Club.
Misfit, yeah.
But even wherever you find this podcast, if there's a comment section, we'll answer your question.
Yeah. We will try and answer your question if it's a good one.
Because it's cropped up in about 5 different places now as well as YouTube. Yeah. We're on Spotify. We're on. Gotta put myself on the spot. Yeah, we're on Anchor. There's another 4 different podcast distribution places that we're on.
What
Oh,
Cloud as well? Is
It's gonna
Cloud
bug
on?
me now. We
Oh.
are on 5
Just reels
different
off a massive
platforms
list.
on YouTube. We're on Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public,
Nice.
Spotify, and of course the K12 Productions YouTube channel. So if you're
Yeah.
looking for a podcast, you will find us. And if you have found us, thank you for listening.
Welcome.
But yeah,
I think one. Yeah, no. I think one of them was like the first question we had on the Discord was, do you play SSBU, which we think is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
yeah, we
We
kind of
think
decoded
we did
it,
ask
didn't
that.
we? And we was a bit like, that's all it
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah, which I can say I own it. It is personally my favorite. I'm a massive Super Smash Bros. I mean, it took me days to get all the characters in because there's like two ways you can do it. You can either do the story mode, which I think a lot of people say don't do it that way because it really will take a long time. But if you do it via, I think it's like the Smash Fight, you can get it a lot quicker,
Yeah.
which is what I did. And the amount of fighters are great. I mean, it's such a good game, and I just enjoy playing it because it's just like a bit of fun, and like some of the characters and the maps are like completely mad. But I enjoy it. I mean, I don't know if you guys play it as well or played any of the other ones.
So I've actually skipped this one. I'll be completely honest. I've played every single Super Smash Bros. From the original, but I've just not played this one, and I don't really have an answer why. To be honest, I've just not got into
It
it.
is a pricey game.
Yeah, I do need
It
to get my
doesn't
hands on
drop.
it.
It
I
is
really
a
need to get
very
my
good one,
hands on it.
especially for the amount. It's like the amount of characters they have in it, as well as some of the ones that are iconic, like the one that used to basically, I think she is known as one of the worst characters in all of Smash, which was the one which was in Pokemon, which is like similar to Pikachu,
Yeah.
where she would basically her own attack would basically inflict damage on herself as well.
Wow.
Yeah, she's in
Brilliant.
this one as well, and she's a lot better.
Yeah. I need to get my hands on it, but I just haven't. I don't know why. There's just other games that I've wanted to play on Switch, and I just kind of skipped Smash Bros.
No, it's definitely one to play.
I'm a bad person.
What
Yeah,
about
well, at
you,
least you've
Regan?
got a Switch.
True.
I played, mate. I ain't got a Switch, so I haven't actually played it. I've heard about it. Like one of the guys I used to work with bought it, and he went through like the story mode to it, and he said it was literally just taking him forever to get through it. Like,
It does.
said it like, don't get me wrong, it's a good game, and you know once you start getting people, it is pretty good. But it's just like you need to put a lot of time and a lot of effort doing it through like the story.
Yeah.
But
No,
there
there
again,
is another way of doing it.
yeah, but I feel like that's a lot of games though. If you put the time and effort in, you get your rewards, didn't you? Really?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But I've played some of the other ones.
Game you want.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I play a lot of stuff. It makes no difference to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think one of the ones I think I also saw, which is quite a nice one, is if you had to get stuck in a one video game series, which series would it be and why?
Oof.
Go on, I'll let you answer that first because I've been stuck on this question for a long time.
So if you had to be stuck in one game series,
Yeah.
see, yeah, Red Dead for me.
Ooh.
The first one, obviously, when it came out years ago, it was something new. It was something different. And then they brought out the second one, well, the prequel to it, shall I say, the other year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, I spent a heck of a lot of time playing like Red Dead Redemption, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was probably one of the best games I'd played for a while. I mean, Rockstar probably nailed that spot on to, you know, giving it its own meaning, then throwing like a new version of online to it. The downside was I thought that no matter what you do, you kind of just don't get anywhere. But again,
No, it's
you got
very
to
slow paced.
I mean, sorry, there was like one of the horses that was like higher on the map. So if you went there too early, you couldn't sort of get it because the things you had to go through and whatever else, and you get it too late, you don't get to enjoy it. So it's it's one of them that you have to
Yeah.
go out and explore whilst trying to do a couple of the
Mm.
missions in between. But like, I'm not going to slate the game because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I've completed it, I've played through it again, and then re-bought it and gone through it again. So I mean,
Yeah.
but honestly, Red Dead, yeah, probably one, if not Grand Theft Auto, would be another that I'd happily
Yeah,
just
that
sit
That
was-
you
there.
in the world of online. That
I tell you what,
I'm
yeah.
singing doors all the time.
That'd be
But yeah,
wicked.
no, I love FIFA, but like, do you know what? FIFA frustrates me, it angers me. But Red Dead and GTA all day, I'd quite happily sit there and be like, do you know what? I ain't moving. I am sitting here doing what I've
Yeah,
got
I
to do.
presume when you say Red Dead, you also mean Red Dead Revolver, because that is also technically part of the series.
Yeah. So any form
Yeah,
of
no.
that's in with
Yeah.
that Red Dead side, with the name or anything, yeah, no, I'd quite happily sit there and like couch potato moment.
Yeah, no, I've got Revolver, and that's all right. I don't like Red Dead Redemption, and I've tried 2 when it was on Game Pass, and it took so long to get anywhere, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it just doesn't exist. It's just awful. However,
But the thing is-
I wouldn't.
Because you're all on horseback in it,
Okay.
and running is difficult.
Oh yeah, but no, I mean, if it was me, I would say Cyberpunk, which I know a lot of people going, what? But the game's terrible. I mean, but no, if you actually, because I've now got the game on my PlayStation 5, and
Yeah.
you just look at that world, it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I just love the whole idea of like everything of the Cyberpunk world and the robotics and everything. I just love that whole idea with everything. It might be an absolute car crash of a game which is still getting fixes and bugs, but as a world, it is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's the important bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
No,
stuck
what-
now.
you-
I'm stuck now because I would have said GTA. I must admit that probably would have been my pick. But you know what? Actually, a game that's just randomly sprung to my mind is Watch Dogs. Now,
That's
Do you know
good.
what? That's a good shout, actually.
yeah,
What,
I think that'd be a nice little world to live in.
would you go Legion or would you go 2?
Uh,
What would you go
probably
number
2.
1?
No, I think if I had to pick, I'd probably
The
say
one's not
2.
one. Yeah, 2's got a nice world. 2's a nice
Yeah.
world. It's very open. You got the boats. You got the nice scenery. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite Watch Dogs.
I think, yeah, 1 was a bit. I don't know. I just felt a bit. What's the
Lackluster
word?
from what the trailers originally showed off.
Oh, well, yeah, but I don't know. The world just felt a lot smaller than it should have been. I feel like I was just
Yeah.
restricted
No.
to one little part, and I thought, yeah,
it-
this game needs to be opened up more. 2 come out, and I was like, yeah, this is what it should have been.
I
Legion.
mean, I love the whole idea.
Legion, but yeah, the Watch Dogs 2. What a world that'd be to live in.
Yeah,
See,
I mean, Legion, that's a bad one.
Yeah,
Just-
I couldn't get into it. I must admit, I thought it might have just been me, but yeah, nah, wasn't
So
feeling
you're saying
it.
about maps. I've just thought of another one, and
Go on.
I did play that
What?
quite a bit. Was Far Cry 5.
Great game.
Ooh.
Now,
I know a
don't
lot
get
of
me wrong,
people have said that. I know a lot of people wouldn't have said that. They all probably said 4 or 3
Yeah,
yeah,
because
But I
Well,
thought
that's-
5
I'm
had
not sure 5
something.
was good.
yeah, I quite liked
Yeah.
5, to be honest.
I liked it. But then again, I bought the special version, which came with Far Cry 3 as well. And then the other
Nice.
DLC
Nice.
was really good.
Yeah, I'd still say 4 is my favorite, but yeah, Far Cry 5's up there.
Oh, yeah, no. Are you looking forward to the new one?
Oh, I can't wait.
No, 6. It's probably the only game I'm actually looking forward to this year, apart from Riders Republic. Because all
Yeah,
the other ones are next year. But
Yeah.
no, 6, I mean, 6 does look good. It's based in like the Cuban style area, which
yeah,
looks just amazing.
exactly. Oh, yeah, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be a great game to play.
But no, like I think the ones on Twitter were amazing, weren't they? We had.
Yeah, they weren't bad. They weren't bad.
Yeah, no, if I can find them, let's find them. They were brilliant. Really good. If we can find them. Where are they? Is it here? No, it's not that one. Where did we put them?
Can't remember if it's on my Twitter or not.
I think it's on yours. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Got it.
Oh
No,
yeah, I've
it's
got it as well.
from one person, and I have to give them credit for credit to them. Sons of Odin, the questions were bang on. I mean, they
Yeah.
were really good. I mean, like one we have, he says, with regarding stuff outside gaming, what sports do you prefer to watch or enjoy watching or taking part in? What made you want to watch or do the sports itself? If you would you turn back time and get involved in more sports? Which would, I mean,
I think, which in me, I think I mainly just watch motorsport
Yeah.
or like, and I would, when I can, I would watch ice hockey in the US because I love it. But no, I mean, like, I watch a lot of motorsport. Like, there's one series I watch. Like, if it's on a Sunday, I will, like, that would be the only thing I watch. Like, anything else, no, I will have to watch that because I just can't not watch it because it's so much fun to
Yeah.
watch. But well, I mean, obviously, would I love to do it? Of course I would. I mean, if I could, I would. Absolutely. It's one of my favorite series of all time, which is British Touring Cars. It's such a good series, and I've been there 5 times to watch it
Jeez.
at Brands.
Nice.
Yeah, no, yes. No, it's such a nice place. It's the people's track. But no, I mean, I've been to a couple of football matches in my time, and I've watched like other things and all sorts. But for me, I think the one thing is I've always tried to watch motorsport for me, but
Yeah.
also, of course, wrestling as well. But would I try and do it? I don't know, because I think it is such. I think if you're going to do it, you have to do it quite young. But if, like, at my age, it's probably just like it's not worth it. And also, I think, like, depending where you are, it's probably harder to find them. But it's all more interesting. But would I do it? I don't know. It's just, I think that one's a really interesting one because I was so late to the party. But would I've probably watched wrestling a lot earlier? Probably, from what I did.
See, I think I've had this conversation as well with a lot of people about getting into wrestling. And I don't really think you need to get into it early at all. I think, like, I've seen people when I've trained people that are like late 30s, early 40s that have got into it and have still had a pretty decent run. Like, they've still had a good, like, 10-year run. I just think.
And I'm thinking, yeah, because I'm thinking about, isn't that I think Brian Saxton / The Blade, I think, didn't he start a lot later?
Yeah. And obviously, you got like DDP. DDP didn't start until he was 38, I think, something stupid like that.
I think it was just before 38.
Yeah.
Because he was manager or something, wasn't he, beforehand? And
Yeah,
that was his
yeah.
foot in.
Yeah, he was manager for a couple of years and then he thought, I'm going to give this a go. And then he had a nice little run as well. But yeah, there's loads of wrestlers that have started late. And you think, all right, it's probably not the most glamorous of times, but even Ric Flair's wrestled into quite late in his life.
Yeah,
I'm not
true.
sure if wrestle would be the word I'd use to describe it, but there are some matches that even at his age have been really good.
I think that's the way to put it, though.
Yeah, the one that sticks out is the Shawn Michael one.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah.
The one at WrestleMania, that's just heartbreaking.
But there's some
that
really good
was-
ones as
that
well.
was a sad
Like,
moment.
there's an underrated gem of Ric Flair and Shelton Benjamin on an episode of Raw. And Ric Flair's pushing 60 in that match. And
Jeez.
they both look amazing. Like, I wouldn't say one of those wrestlers carry the other. That's a really good match. So I think as long as you put your mind to it, I don't think there's an age that it's too late to start wrestling.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you to a point, because obviously I know you do it, and well, I'll say you used to quite a bit. But I think where you get that little bit older, your body sort of slows down a bit. It's like, Ric Flair probably done it into like early 60s. Well, done matches, as you said, wouldn't put it as wrestling. But I think if you start out younger and you've kind of got more about yourself that you can do, then you can give yourself, say if you're at 23, by 33, you've done a nice 10 years. You could probably get another 10, 15 years, and then you think, do you know what, my body's now fully done. You start mid-30s, you're thinking, oh, I've only realistically got about 6 to 10 years before you're thinking, can my body do this anymore?
Yeah.
I know it's not a good way to look at it, but you know what I mean? It's, if you start things at a younger age, you feel like you can go on like eternity. You can go on for years and years and years, and people do. And you know, you start out a bit late. You're thinking, oh, how long is it before I think I can't do it?
Oh, yeah. No, I do agree with that.
Well, obviously,
But
I don't want to put a downer on what you've said, but you know what I mean. It's another way of looking and thinking, does my body take that in another 5 years' time?
yeah, I think it's all like it's a personal thing, isn't it? It's everyone's body is different. So
Hmm.
obviously, my body when I started, I was 18, so I could go longer. But there's people that are older than me that are probably in a much better physical condition than I am, and their bodies could probably handle it better than mine could now. And it's like, well, I don't know. I just feel like it's everyone's body's different. So until you try it, it's hard to really put an age on it of when you're going to stop and how long you've actually got doing it. But yeah, going back to subject, obviously, I don't think it's a secret that one of the like sports that I prefer to watch and I take part in and all that is obviously wrestling. Another one being football, obviously, where the eSports team sprouted from a subject of Essex Charity Football Club, and one that will surprise people. And whenever I bring it up, everyone's like, "What?" It is actually tennis. I'm a big
I used to
tennis
do
fan.
tennis.
I
used to
love
do
it.
tennis.
Yeah, I
I
love it.
couldn't.
I started in college. I
Oh,
was watching tennis for a little while, but yeah, I started playing tennis in college, and ever since then, I don't play tennis as much as I should. But yeah, I'd love to.
neither
That'd
do
be
I.
one that I wouldn't mind taking, like a full-time thing if I could.
Honestly, tennis that surprised me.
See,
And I've known
Oh,
you for
yeah,
quite
but
a few
have you ever
years,
been to
mate. But
Wimbledon?
yeah,
yeah, I don't know what it is. I think I got caught in the whole Wimbledon hype one year, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is quite good." And then I started expanding a bit, and I was watching like the US Open and the Australian Open, things like that. And I thought, "Oh, I'm going to give this a go." Well, as part of like the college course, we had to try certain sports that we'd not necessarily played before. One of them was netball, which I absolutely smashed, by the way. And then
of course you did.
obviously,
Of course you did.
I looked great in the little skirt and vest combination. But
Did you wear your spandex as well?
obviously,
Good man.
that was underneath. But yeah, no, tennis was. I don't know. I started playing it, and I was like, yeah, I tell you what, if I had the time and I had the, I don't know, if I had the time to do it, that'd be one I'd certainly would have liked to gone back in time and taken up. I reckon.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Wimbledon then?
I've been once, and yeah, great day out. Really
Oh
good
no, it
day out.
is. No, I have been as well. I had the luck enough to go to centre court during
Nice.
the second. I think it's like second day or first day,
Yeah.
and it was just. I mean, I saw like some of the big names like Serena Williams and Nadal at the time, and it's just to watch it. It's still amazing to watch.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I think they say like nothing's like a British atmosphere for fans. I mean, like I was at the London 2012 Olympics
Yeah.
on the first day in the stadium, and the roar of the crowd is like nothing I've ever felt or have seen since.
Yeah,
It was truly amazing.
I genuinely do believe that British fans do it better than anywhere else.
No,
Yeah.
I think I've even heard like Americans come over and they'll go like, "There's nothing compared to the British fans."
Yeah.
The thing is, like, without bigging us up or anything, I think that we give out certain like chants, whether it's like wrestling or something like that, even football. And then
Yeah,
you find out it travels around and the Americans are using it or they're using something similar to it, but it's all based off what you've heard from here. I'm not saying we've started it, but you know, the way that we are, we really don't care and we'll shout anything out,
Yeah.
of course, because
Yeah, that's it.
it's the British way, innit?
Basically.
But you find that
yeah,
they use it and you're thinking, you were there when that first come out. Well, not first come out, but you were there when that first appeared and you're thinking, wow, that's now traveled to here. And it's like within a short space of time and you're thinking, we've done that. Like we've created something and it's now being used and it's constantly being used.
Yeah.
That stuff in the indie circuits and yeah, it's just mad what some fans go, oh yeah, we're going to do this tonight. And then everyone joins in. Ain't got a clue what they're doing. Join in. And you're thinking, this is the best thing I've ever been to. And it's, I don't know, it's the atmosphere that you can get is just incredible throughout some of the stuff.
Oh no, yeah, no. I've also been to like a wrestling match and like the crowd, you just like one starts and then everyone joins, or then something that was said in a match and then the fans will just suddenly charge it back. So I remember the best one I've heard was it was a NXT UK and it was Gallus versus Volta for the title, and it's literally it was is it Joe Kofi or was it Mark Kofi? I think it might be Joe. I think it was Joe Kofi. That said it, and he basically just said about, I think, comparing calling Volta a Jolly Wally, and then everyone else was just calling him a Jolly Wally after. It was just brilliant.
Jeez. Jeez.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy.
But no, this one I wanted to leave to the end because I think this is a banger. I mean, genuinely, I think it did put my thinking cap on this one. Is, do you feel Twitch and YouTube give you enough to branch out and help streamers grow? And would you say that there's more to it?
Yeah, I thought you'd like this one.
This is, I mean, Twitch. I mean, I will be honest. YouTube's at the moment doing some really good stuff, but they're buying a lot, or getting a load of ex-Twitch streamers at the moment, like Tim the Tatman. I think there's a couple other ones, and obviously they've got disrespect with the whole fiasco with Twitch at the moment. But no, I would. It's difficult because I would say both. I think probably YouTube maybe a tiny bit better on that, because I would say it's a very much harder thing to get out on Twitch than it is on YouTube. And because I even had a friend of mine who used to do Mixer, if anyone remembers that.
Yeah,
and I think even they were somewhat better than Twitch were. Because I mean, he got a free hoodie when he got like sort of partnered with a Mixer at the time, and it was, I mean, absolutely. I think that I would say this. I mean, this is probably the reason why I think a lot of people were having complaints about Twitch at the current moment with the whole boycotting. And I know viewership has been plummeting at this current situation. What's going on? But even YouTube has its problems with getting noticed or things getting blocked off because of new like rules and places that have been put in, either that have been put a lot stricter, or with AI bots then deciding, oh no, you can't have that. You have to be monetized, or it has to be put into a new restriction or something. It's kind of this very difficult problem at the moment, but I think it's improving, but at a very, very slow rate.
Yeah, and the last year, I don't think it's been very it might be longer than a year, but I think the last year hasn't been very kind, or not kind to Twitch, because they've done it themselves, but it's not been the best in terms of what's been going on. So the whole like hot tub stream thing has just blown out of proportion. But
And
it's
the
something that but it's something that they just don't seem to be monitoring properly.
I mean, they should be doing better, because I mean, last year should have been. I mean, it should have been their best year, because everyone should have been having the people, like, you have big names on there, like wrestlers, and I think even like other big names on race, like eSports drivers and everything, and all sorts of companies on there. And yet, I don't feel it's as big as YouTube is.
Well, yeah, I mean, as well, look at, everyone was at home last year. So that was a prime opportunity for people to jump on Twitch, and not even just like streaming on Twitch, but people are at home, they're looking for something to do. I'll jump on Twitch and I'll watch these big names. And that's when the littler names kind of get picked out.
Not looked at.
I don't know. Like, there's been some times where I've been in a big names Twitch stream. So one, for example, that I used to watch quite regularly, I don't so much anymore, is Jay from In Betweeners on his channel. Completed it, mate.
Oh yeah, no, he's good. He's brilliant.
Yeah. I must admit, I don't watch him as much as I used to, but there's been times where I've jumped on his channel and he's given me like a shout out. I've gained some followers from him, and yeah, little things like that. I think if you're in the right place at the right time, you can kind of not take advantage of it, but you can kind of like gain from it. And I think, like, I've done YouTube for a while, I've done Twitch for a while. For me, I've always preferred Twitch, just because it's really hard to put a finger on it. I just feel like I get more exposure.
You don't have to edit things. You just
for someone lazy like myself, it's so much easier. But I think, I don't know, I just feel like I get a closer feel with my Twitch community than I do with my YouTube.
Yeah,
The
'cause
thing
it's not
is,
live
though,
as well.
I mean, you even going live on YouTube, like no matter what you're going live on, like you're saying, it's if you're in the right place at the right time. So I mean, you could be stream. Obviously, I've watched quite a few streams to be fair, but I mean, watching Alien the other week, and I know you hate it. I really
With a
know you hate
passion.
it. But the thing is, if someone goes, "Oh, like I want to see what this game's like. I've seen it, but I haven't actually anything about it," and they search it up on Twitch, straight away you're like number one because you know you got most people watching you at the time.
Yeah.
They'll jump into that and they go, "Oh, this guy's all right. This guy knows what he's doing." Like he throws out a bit of banter. He'll talk to people. He'll answer the questions as he's playing the game. Next minute, you get a follow, and then they go to one of the mates. "Oh, by the way, you seen this guy?" They're like, "Nah." And then it like for the small people, it's like it's good because they get that little thing. But like, I mean, I've watched people like Castro and Nick T and whatever else playing like FIFA, and then some of us playing like other games. And some of them, they'll go, right, we're not going to stream anymore, but what we're going to do is find someone.
Yeah.
They'll jump onto someone and they'll host them.
Yeah, the raise.
And I think that's brilliant. But they're the people that have got like 100,000 followers anyway, compared to like 700,000, you know? And then they'll find some tiny person that's got like, don't know, say for instance, like 60, 70 people that are following them. And they'll just jump on them just because they're bored.
Yeah, basically. Just to transfer the views that they've got at the end of the stream. So they're not just going like, and I love that about Twitch as well. You can go and highlight someone else as you're coming offline. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, but you can also do your recommended
no,
channels
exactly.
too.
Yeah, exactly. I think, yeah, for me, I do feel like I've never had a bad experience with either. Let me just say that. I've never had a bad experience with Twitch and I've never had a bad experience with YouTube. There's been times where I've give up on one or the other because I've just either lost direction with my channel or I'm just not getting the views that I feel like I should be. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't feel like I should be streaming to 100,000 people every time, but there's streams where I've put a lot of preparation into it and it's not getting promoted like I feel like it should. So I've just been a bit like, okay, I'm going to step back and I'll go and focus on YouTube for a bit. And then I'll pump out some YouTube videos and all of a sudden my views are just getting lower and lower. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to jump back on Twitch for a bit. But I've never had a bad experience with either that's made me go, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm just going to step away. I feel like Twitch has been quite good to me. My channel's not massive by any means. I mean, I've just clicked on and just see an hour ago we hit 200 followers, which to me is massive. Like I massively appreciate that.
Nice.
But for me, hitting affiliate was the target that I had, and I've done that last year. So actually, I think it was the year before. But hitting affiliate was where I wanted to be, and that was always my goal. So after affiliate, I was like, okay, I don't care if I never get another follower again. I just want to be able to bring enjoyable streams to the people that come and spend their time with me. So I feel like Twitch has helped me do that. YouTube, I've got a couple of videos that are in like the tens of thousands on terms of views, but on you, I just feel like that's a number on YouTube. I don't feel like I've not got anything for it because I don't care about the monetization or anything like that. But I just feel like that's one video that's got 10,000 views, for example, and then the next one's just got 14. And I'm like,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
I don't get it.
They're all pretty inconsistent. Yeah.
So like for a prime example of this, last year, I released a Japanese wrestling game video, which
I remember that.
I didn't expect it to blow up like it did. Now it is currently on 6,800 views.
Wow.
My video after that is on 59 views. Like, what the hell? And like, that's the kind of drops that I see in my content. And I've got videos that I look back and I was doing old WWE videos ages ago. And I've got like, where is it? There's one that's in the tens of thousands of views. Defend the Streak. I've done a video. And my WWE series actually is what kind of kicked my channel off. because I got quite decent views out of that. Like I've got 10,000 views, 2,000 views, and it was just like dream matches of wrestling. And then,
Nice.
but they'd still drop. There'd be videos that went from 10,000 views to 235 views. And it's like, I just don't see the consistency where on Twitch, if I've had one good stream, it'll keep going and going. And then that's on me.
Yeah.
If I take a break from it, then I fully expect it to have to kind of start again.
Drop.
And that's why, and that's why my channel's only at 200 followers, because I'm nowhere near as consistent with Twitch as I should be. Like I've not streamed in 5 days. Now I work full time. Obviously we've got football and I'm going back to wrestling very soon as well. So I've got shed loads of things to be doing. But I stream as and when I can. But that's when I start building and start getting my viewers in. And like the last stream I did, no, actually the stream before last, I got hosted and I ended up with about 20 odd viewers at one time. And that for me is massive. Like, I love things like that. And I've got some good followers out of that as well. Now I've not streamed since, so I don't expect to see half of them back the next time. But I feel like if you're consistent with Twitch, then Twitch will give you that platform to grow. Where with YouTube, I just feel like they'll put your video out if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, and also I think the main problem with YouTube, which I know is also worse on Twitch, is the whole kind of the big three music label problem, which is ridiculous. And even like smaller record companies like just go, yeah, we own the rights, like you can't use our music or anything, which has always been that difficult, which I know Twitch have sort of tried to get around that, but even I think some music companies going, no, you're not doing that kind of thing. It is that I would say it's, yeah, no, I do know what I mean with Twitch. I mean, like I can give a really good example, like of the person that's actually got them. Like there's a group that they chat. I mean, they've changed the name on YouTube, but which was Marriage is Metal. They've now changed to Abby and Louise, who do like these reaction videos, like to metal music.
Okay,
very good, and I do watch them. They're quite good, and they blew up on their YouTube when Ronnie Radke reacted to them on Twitch.
Yeah,
and then they literally, when they had the Twitch thing, because it was very old, like they didn't have any of the mics or anything like really that well done, and literally after that they changed everything because of Ronnie.
That's what I mean, and that's all it takes.
Yeah. No, quite. You know, exactly.
But
or
yeah,
you're affiliated with someone.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's luck. Like I'm lucky enough to become a Twitch affiliate, so there are things that, like, you know, I get money back from some of my streams, which is nice. And again, that's just luck. It was just lucky that I was getting the views and I was getting the follows that I needed. But now I'm at a point where I stream for fun. So if I do make a couple of quid here and there on my streams, I'm like, massive, that's brilliant. But equally, I don't care if I don't make a single penny off it because, you know, I work full time. That's where my money comes from. And Twitch for me is a nice release from that. Like, I don't come on Twitch to make money. I come on Twitch to switch, like to stream to my community and just have a good time. That's what it's about for me. So I feel like if I did want to put the time and effort into it, then I could have a big channel because Twitch would give me that support that I need to do it. Whereas YouTube, when I have that spent months and months on it, I just feel like I've been left at the bottom of the pile because that's just, I'm not their priority, which is fine. And that's, I just feel like I do feel that Twitch give you enough to branch out, but equally it's same as anything. You get out of it what you put in.
No, quite. And I mean, also not only that, it's like, I think one good thing, and I've always liked about Twitch, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing, is like you can actually, like, if there's a certain game you enjoy, you can like put into your like Twitch search and then only follow stuff that are from that game. But I think the problem is also you have to know what games are popular on Twitch as well, because some games are very popular and some aren't.
Yeah.
Because I know that was even, I mean, it was even worse on Mixer when that was the thing. Because like people like had like thousands and thousands of views on Twitch would get barely any on Mixer. I think it's partly because it was on Windows and partly because it was only on Xbox, where Twitch is like overall anything. But no, I mean, the amount of stuff I can follow that I do watch, they do have at least quite a few, depending on which it is. But you do have to know what's big and what's not, or else you just don't get the views, even if it is like a game you enjoy.
Yeah, that's it. It's bad. Like it's what people want to see. Which sometimes it does hinder people because they don't necessarily want to play that. But equally, you kind of expect that. It's the same in life. If people want to buy it, they'll buy it. If people want to watch that game, they'll watch it. If people don't want to watch that game, they'll go and find something else. So, yeah, it's all
The
very
thing
much...
is,
Go on.
right? Yeah, I agree with the popular part. I mean, I do. Not being funny. FIFA, Call of Duty, big every year. Pretty much the same game every year. Now, you always find hidden gems. Now, I was on Twitch before. I didn't really know about Jackbox Party.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, Quiplash come up, right? So I'm sitting there, never heard of this game before. I stumbled across it by looking at who was live on Twitch. And I was like, I'll see what this is about. Know nothing about it. So I've seen it from the menu when it first started, and then people jumping in and like the audience and whatever. And I was like, this game, there was just nothing to it, but it's simple and it's just so cool. Some of the stuff that you can obviously pretty much say what you want. And that game grew. It was never a massive popular game, but it grew. And to this day, like people still play it. It's not very, we're going to smash it out for 18 hours, but it's a game that you can honestly say, I like that. It's a small game. It's not, it's never going to be a world beater of a game, but it's something small that you just stumble across and you're thinking, right, I like this. But you go find it and you see like 7-8 people playing it and they've got like 10 views. I don't care how many views are on there. It's just like little gem games
fun to watch.
are hard to find. Yeah, it really is.
It's like that with Among Us and Phasmophobia. They both blew up, I think, on Twitch.
Yeah.
And now are like household names. I mean, Among Us was going to have a sequel. They scrapped that just to follow on the first game, just so they would add the stuff that was going to be in the second game. They're now adding onto this game and now making it cross-play with everything that they can do. I mean, that's a perfect example.
Yeah, no, that's another like hidden gem, really, isn't it? It's brilliant. But there again, the amount of people that jumped on that bandwagon for Among Us, and how many people streamed it, and how many people done different like game modes within the game itself, it is crazy what people have done with that, and they made that into a big game for whoever. I mean, like you can sit there with your family and play it.
I think they're called.
Yeah, but you can sit there with your family and play it. Like even if there's like 4 or 5 years. You get that little, if I'm not an imposter, I want to kill him. Like just because it's what you got to do. But yeah, I mean, you can jump into games with like 16 people and pray that you don't get caught and whatever else. Which I think that's another good game.
Well, I mean, Phasmophobia is also one I know. I don't play, but I know it's like basically ghost hunting with a load of people. I mean, that's just fun to watch. Like people just like trying to run and just try and find stuff is also kind of fun to watch as well. But again, that was a small one. I think that's still in early access, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. I must admit, I've never played that. I've not got my hands on it yet. But yeah, I know every time I go on Twitch, there's always at least one person that I follow that's streaming it. So it must be something that people are getting views on.
I know it's quite fun. It's basically like Ghostbusters, just a lot more terrifying.
Brilliant. I won't play that then.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean I think I should probably cover this week's podcast. I think for this week because I think we've got more stuff probably coming in the next couple of weeks. We've obviously got to plan out and tweak, and hopefully by that time, get more questions coming in because I think those are the main good ones, weren't they?
Yeah, obviously, I think we still got one more, haven't we, from the Twitter as well?
No, I think the one I think we answered last week, which is like your favorite and worst game.
Yeah. Regan, you weren't here last week. What are you playing at the minute, first off?
Right. So now I've kind of got back into gaming.
Yeah.
I started streaming the other week, which for the first time in 3 long years, I finally got back in streaming. I done Quiplash, which obviously was joined by you too.
Yeah.
It felt amazing, right? After I was on it for 4 hours.
Jeez.
Right, 4 hours live stint. And I look back at like, can't get my words out now. Sound like a right idiot. I look back at it after, and I got up to 50 views in that 4-hour stint. Now, I felt that was amazing.
On a first one
'Cause-
back as well. Yeah, that's mad.
First one back, and I was like, wow. And I was like, I've streamed a couple of times since. I've been playing like Lego Marvel Avengers as well.
Yeah.
I got back into Avengers. Started playing that again last couple of days. I've been playing Battlefield 5.
Great game.
I dropped back into Apex yesterday. First time properly in like a good couple of years, or longer it feels. I've kicked FIFA to the side. I can't be bothered with that because the new one comes out and I can't be bothered. But yeah, no, I've got into Avengers at the minute. I'm loving that. I want to get back into Red Dead
Is
again.
it any better than it was originally? Because I know there were a lot of complaints originally from like grind and just the whole combat and everything.
Yeah.
It's the combat. I feel it depends on who you use for the combat stuff. Because obviously, Iron Man, you could just jump up and you can beam wherever you want. The Miss Marvel, like the Inhuman, obviously long arms, stretching massive fist and whatever. She feels a bit fluid.
Yeah.
Hulk feels a bit fluid, like you can string a couple together before he like wants to pick up the floor and smash someone in the face with it. But I feel it's who you use, because some are harder to use than others. Some you can just go, right, I can button bash, you know what I mean? Like Mortal Kombat and things like that. You can just button bash your way through it and that's it, you're done. But the grind for it, still the same. But I feel it's worth it because you get a reward at the end of it. Yeah, it's a struggle. Yeah, it's a pain. But you see the reward and you go, wow, I've done this. And it's just like, right, yeah, I've achieved something. It's, you know, I kind of like games like that. But at the same time, I don't. I mean, going back years ago, I tried getting into Dark Souls. Worst decision I ever made. The game is fantastic. Anger, blood pressure, through the roof. I'll be honest. I mean, I used to like playing it. My mate got me into it, and he was really good at it. And it was constantly. I watched him do it on Twitch and see what he was doing, and I was like, I can do that. I can do that. And I got through the first bit. Right, I had to sit there, and I was like, mate, what do I do? How do I do this? What do I do? He went, right, okay. So I got through the first bit, and then went on with him, and I was streaming it, and literally, I don't regret playing it. I regret carrying on playing it. And that was the thing I found. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic series. I mean, if you're one of them that are, you're going to grind and you can not get angry as much, and you are willing to, you're going to constantly die. Yeah. But for me, it's not my game. Because I'm no good at it. I'm not going to say it like I said, but because I'm not good at stuff, I'm like, it's not for me. We'll try, but I'll give it a go. And if I can't do it, I can't get scripts of it, I'm like, I'll go to something I know I can do and know something I can play, and I'll stick with that. Not necessarily popular opinion, but it's how I feel that it's easier to deal with because you know what stress levels you get in rather than sitting there trying to go, I can get through this door, I'll get through the next door, and then some big giant axe comes on and rips your face off. No, I can't be dealing with that, but yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, but going back to the question, Avengers at the minute is one I'm trying to grind through and trying to link up a multiplayer again for like Battlefield. I played H1Z1 last night with one of my mates.
Oh, geez.
Now, it's on PlayStation, so I thought it might be a bit popular because it's a Battle Royale game. I mean, you look at Fortnite, that took right off on like console.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's for the kids essentially, you know what I mean? But I mean, there are adults that are out there playing it. So I thought H1Z1 be the same. And you know what? There was next to no one playing duos last night.
No, it's a very dead. When it originally came out, because I played it when it originally came out, I think it was just people like getting ready for the actual official game to come out, but they've never released H1Z1 as the official game it was meant to be. They've just left it as what it is.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably a reason I think that nobody plays it. It's the same with, I think, some of the other ones that have come out. You try and do it at certain games and they just don't have the numbers. I think there's like Project Darwin. I think that doesn't have the numbers either. I think it might have more numbers than H1Z1, but I don't think it has numbers against what PUBG and Fortnite and Apex has, or Warzone, which is also not a great game. But...
Yeah, no, PUBG was a good one to play. I thought that was difficult because on PC you can stare down like 1,000 yards and you're going to ping off a headshot eventually.
Yeah.
You do on console, you can't see no further than probably like 4 houses in front of you because of the way it is all crammed in.
If you change the controls, actually, it does. You can get it done because I have done that. A mate of mine told me about that. You can actually change the controls, and it is a lot better.
Oh, really?
Controls.
Yeah, well, I
you
played
have
it
to
for
take it
years.
to the siege controls, and then it is like 10 times better. 10 times better.
I wish I'd have met you a few years ago to tell me that would have been so much easier.
Yeah, quite. But what's your worst game you've played?
Oof.
Alien Isolation. Exactly. That was my thinking too.
Mate, it's only the worst game you've ever played because you're not good at it.
How was I three streams in and there wasn't a single alien?
Yeah.
Jesus. How can you call
It's
a
a slow
game
game,
Alien
man.
Isolation when there's no aliens? Oh,
There was aliens. But saying that, there is a video on YouTube which I found really funny to do with Alien Isolation. And the guy literally grabs himself and makes a funny video, goes on for like 10 minutes. I don't know if you've seen it. If you can find it, it's worth a watch. It is absolutely brilliant.
Check it out.
Right, worst game I've ever played. Jeez. I don't know, because some games ain't for me, but other people, they're a good game. Jesus. I'd say probably one of the very old wrestling games on the PlayStation 1. Now, only because of the time frame it was at, it didn't really have a lot about it. I think it was one of the WCW games. I think they had like
ECW, because I know the ECW games have never had that good. Could be an ECW.
Yeah, could have been. But either way, it was. To be honest, I can't remember the exact name for it, but yeah, there was no like. I know it's PlayStation 1, and not a lot of people were going, "Oh yeah, well, it's PlayStation 1. What do you expect now?" Of course, at the time, you're thinking you press a couple of buttons, you expected, what you're supposed to do, like a suplex, and then whatever because of what they were doing. It just felt like it was watching two blocks just smashed together and one will fall on the floor.
Nice.
And you're like, brilliant. I know now you get all the fluidity and you get everything that you kind of want from a wrestling game to a certain extent. You don't always get it. I mean, WWE sort of sunk with 2K a little. It's not 2K's fault essentially, but they don't seem to be doing
it's 2K's
what you
fault. It is
expect.
actually 2K's fault with the WWE games because they basically fired or basically left and sacked Ukes, and then they left it. So it is 2K's sort of fault, not really WWE's fault. This one.
Yeah. I didn't want to just pin the blame on 2K because they do okay with the basketball scene. So
No, yeah. I mean, I think if you want a better explanation of what the situation with the WWE games over with 2K thing, I would recommend looking at Justin Leaper's videos for that because he's an ex Road to WrestleMania guy, and he gives a brilliant explanation on it because he's an inside because he knows everything about it because he made it in the old days and it was really good. So he knows people who have left the company and stuff. So he's worth definitely, if you want to find out more, definitely worth watching his videos.
Yeah, I might have to actually because I don't know what's going on with them. I didn't look too much into it. I was just like seeing what people were saying about the games, and I thought they were okay. You could still play them. I mean, you could sit there and you could just create your own like Monday Night Raw. I know it's not really that, but I mean, your own SmackDown, your own NXT, and that was it. You think, oh yeah, I watched what matches I've thrown together, and then going through like the last one, the WrestleMania thing where you're getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then you've got to go back previous years to where you were wrestling in the indie scenes, and then when you come up into WWE, and then you make it big, and then it's like, why not do it the other way around? Why not put you at the start of the indie scene, and then you make it into it, and then you get inducted in, rather than going meeting all these players. Oh yeah, do you remember this match from like 6 years ago?
I mean, I think the only time they sort of did that was in the 19 game. But even that, you didn't get to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the only times they've done Hall of Fame was in 2K20 and in 2K16. That's about it. They may have done it in 2K17, but I don't. From what I know, I don't think they did it.
No, I think it was only the two that, 16 and 20. But I mean, years ago, like on SmackDown, it was like you had your Road to WrestleMania sort of thing. You had your year, well, not your really year, but like you just listen to the year, but you go through all the big events, and then like, obviously you get like probably a career out of it. Like, yeah, it was good at the time because you had like so much to unlock. I think one of them, it was like WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 18. Like you done it, and then you got like characters like full attire. You got like a belt. You got the arena. You got this. You got that, and it was like, wow. Now, I mean, you buy like a deluxe edition, you get everything for free, and you just sit there. Oh, I've got loads of credits for it. What do I do?
Like most of the time, you access. It's like some of them. No, some of it is due to you have to do certain challenges and you have to pay for them. Some of them you can just unlock through the character. And I will be honest, I hate where you have to do it via VC currency. So I would. But I don't mind the unlocking of like characters like from that. That's fine. It's just when you have to like, oh no, if you want to get the other characters, no, you have to. And the other types like, oh no, you have to pay for it. And you're thinking, no, I'll spend like I think it's like a couple of quid and get the all access, and you just get that instead of wasting like hours and hours of time.
Yeah, I worked out. I think it was on 18. Sat there, you needed like X amount of credits to unlock everything. And it would take, depending on obviously your difficulty and the matches you were doing and how many matches you were doing, you were looking at a good, I think it was a good solid 300 hours at least of gameplay to earn all the credits, to unlock everything. And even if you were to do like a custom character and things like that, you know, where you use all your VC, you couldn't do that until you had unlocked everything, and then you still had to go plug in another like couple hundred hours to get everything you wanted with all these characters. And I was like, I ain't got that kind of time.
No,
like,
that's it.
No,
you know what I mean?
That's where it's like you go from, okay, this is the reason, because I know those games had also the loot box situation, and I think 18 was one of the worst actually, because it was completely random. You might get stuff you didn't want, you might get cosmetics, you might get new move sets, but you had no idea. Unlike when they changed it to like, okay, you've got these special sectors where you can choose your moves. If you want a move set, you got this one, you've got the ones for your cosmetics and everything. So with that, I think they did change it, but I mean, it's not great, but at least it's bearable.
Yeah.
But then they give you the same stuff, and it's like, oh, you already got this. Well, I'll then obviously like transfer to my little pile of deleting it, and it gives you like 2 credits. Like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the 2 credits. Brilliant. Man. But yeah, no, it's crazy what they've done. I think it's, well, I'll say crazy. Like you look at from like first gaming, like from when you were a kid, like you're looking at your big graphics and you're thinking, wow, this is really good. This is really good. Like, look at it. And then you go into nowadays where everything's like pretty much like human kind of like, and the way that it's transpired over the years for gaming is absolutely incredible. I mean, do you know what? One game I'll never ever leave alone, and I will probably play this in the next 10 years as well, was Mario Kart in Nintendo 64.
Yep. Every day of the week.
Still great game.
I played this the other year with Mrs. actually. We were sitting there and I was like, do you want to play Mario? She was like, all right then, yeah. And literally it was putting each other off. She even stole the control off me at one point to try and beat me, and she still lost.
And that, kids, is a life lesson. Cheaters never prosper.
Very true.
But it was funny because you're sitting there thinking, oh, I want to beat, you just want to beat the person you're playing.
Yeah, that's it.
It doesn't matter if like you win, but it's just like beating that person and then coming out on top, you just like, you know what? I've still got it. Years later.
Still the man.
Yeah, Mario Kart is one of my ever favorite games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Sound. All right. I believe we're done. I believe we have spoken to death.
Yeah. There's probably more we could say, but obviously don't want to get people to like boredom.
Yeah, we've got plenty of episodes coming up, so I think we'll be all right. But yeah, I just want to thank the both of you for joining today.
Thanks for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure. And to the next episode, we will leave you with peace and love. and we will see you next time.
Open for plans tonight.